Hey, my friends, Marc at Grace Management. In the last video we did a few weeks ago, we talked about things to do to rent those hard to rent properties. We had a lot of questions, a lot of feedback about that. And one of the questions specifically related to this idea of, hey, do I drop the rent? Do I offer move-in specials? What are some best practices around it? So let me share with you a few thoughts, just our opinion on what I think we need to be doing right now as the rental market continues to slow, as renter demand slows, and that is offering move-in specials. You know, I've been in this industry long enough that I remember, this was like 20 years ago, but I remember it was hard to rent properties. And so for a while we were giving away TVs. If you rented a property, we would give you a TV. Now, I don't mean a flat screen TV. This is pre-flat screen days. I remember getting in my car and driving over to Walmart and buying a large, heavy, big TV, and I would carry it into our new tenant's little property and set it up for them and get the thing going, and sometimes even had a remote control if it was a really high-end TV, but that's what we had to do. You did whatever you had to do to get the hard to rent properties rented, even if that means Marc drives your property and installs a brand new TV for you, whatever it takes. Well, what it takes right now, I believe, is move-in specials. So let me offer you 4 suggestions and processes to go through to determine whether or not you should do this. Number 1 is you've got to know what your multifamily market is doing. And the reason I say multifamily is because the multifamily gets it. These are professionals. They have a very strong financial interest in getting their properties rented, and they're creative and they're professional. So what are they doing? Don't reinvent the wheel. See what they're doing. You could do this in a couple different ways. I know a lot of property managers aren't crazy about Zillow, but Zillow does a fabulous job of giving you data. What is going on in your market? In one of the studies that they release every month, it's always a few months delayed. This one just recently came out. This was their August rental analysis, but they said this in there. They said rental concessions continue to rise in most metros. In August, more than a third of listings on Zillow offered concessions, which is a short-term rental incentive, like weeks of free rent or free parking. That's the highest share of concessions offered since March of 2021. Now, we think this number is just going to continue to go up. I think next month it won't be 34, it'll be 38, then it'll be 42, then it'll be 51, then it'll be 60. That number is going to continue to increase as many markets continue to slow. But you've got to know what your multifamily market is doing. And then just Google it. Google some big apartment complexes. Here's one that I took a screenshot of a property in Denver. Listen to this move-in special here. This is in Denver here. Now offering up to 8 weeks free rent, plus $1,000 move-in expense reimbursement. Find out what your multifamily market is doing, because you have to compete with that at the end of the day. That's step number 1. Now, step number 2 is figuring out what to offer. We strongly suggest you offer dollar amounts as move-in specials, not percentages. So what I mean by that is don't say half off first month's rent, 25% off the first month's rent. People just don't think that way. We think in terms of dollars. Give them $500 off the first month's rent, $1,000 off the first month's rent, first month free. But don't fall into the trap of percentages. People just don't think that way, and it won't be as effective as offering a dollar amount or monthly or weeks of free rent, we find on that. Now, this is all about calculating what you're going to figure out, and then you've got to go to your owner client, and you've got to show your owner client the data. Show them what your multifamily market is doing. And here's a great tool as well from Zillow. This is just a screenshot of my market here in Denver. I went into Zillow, I did some searches for current vacant properties that I believe were 3-bed, 2-bath, and it gives you this beautiful little screenshot. Images are powerful to show to your owner clients. So take a screenshot of something like this for your market, show it to your owner client, and make it real, like make it live so you can click on it and say, Mr. Owner Client, here's why we're having so much trouble renting your property. Because in this one little market, in this one little area, we're competing with 442 other single-family homes that are for rent. And look at all of them. These are all properties that you're directly competing with. How are you going to set your property apart from the other 442 rentals right here in the market? And a lot of these are offering move-in specials and incentives, so we have to be competitive with those things. Send this kind of data to your owner clients regularly so that they understand what's going on. Now, step number 4 is to actually make the recommendation to them. Okay, you've got the data, you understand what's going on, you're the expert. How do we get this point across to the owner. So let me give you some exact words to say, but before I do, I want to thank the sponsor for this month's video, Planomatic. Now we're talking about hard to rent properties. One thing you can't afford to do is have crummy looking pictures, have old stale media, advertisements and marketing for your properties. No wonder they're not going to rent. Well, that's where Planomatic comes into place. They're a listing media service for rental properties. They're nationwide. Just imagine clicking a button and instantly you're going to have done for you professional photos, floor plans, 3D, virtual staging, and a lot more. Integrates completely with your software nationwide. It's going to elevate your brand. It's going to make sure your owner clients understand that you are doing everything you can do within your power to get their property rented with professional media marketing. Helps you attract owner clients. Everybody's looking at your pictures, at your media plan. That's where Planomatic comes into play. Jump on their website. We'll link to it here. Tell them Mark sent you. Get the demo. You've got to stop doing this yourself. It's too important. Use the professionals for this. So once you have your professional media marketing kit up that way, and we're going to our owner clients, don't say this. Don't say, you know what, I think we should drop the price. Because you sound like you're just throwing darts at a dartboard. Oh, well, let's try this. Be the expert. Come in as the expert and say something like this. Based on the current market demand, the property is not competitively priced, and in order to attract quality tenants and get the property rented, a rent reduction of $100 a month is necessary. Something like that. Now put it in your own words, but that is a much more authoritative statement than maybe we should try dropping the rent and see what happens there. Be the professional. You can also say something like this. If you're giving them options, you could say, you know, we could make a smaller rent reduction of $50 a month, wait for a week and see what that happens. Or we can make a more substantial offering, which is going to be to reduce it by $100 a month and offer 2 weeks free on the move-in. I recommend we go with option 2 with the more substantial offering. Are you okay with that? Present them options, even if they still have to make that final determination, if they haven't given you the authority to make that decision for them. That's fine. Give them the offerings, but make your recommendation as the professional. And then last is this. Make sure that they understand it's not the marketing, it's the market. Because if you do this, I guarantee you that some of your owner clients will say, well, you know, I looked at those pictures. You're obviously not using Planomatic because the pictures aren't that great. They're not going to know Planomatic, but you get my point. They're going to say, it's not my property. My property's great. It's your marketing. You need to be able to say, no, I understand what you mean. We handle marketing, and explain your marketing package, explain everything you do to get their property shown on all the sites and professional and everything that you do, but don't let them turn it around and say, well, you're just not marketing my property. It's not the marketing, it's the market. The market has slowed, and you as a professional property manager, you're going to have to become more aggressive, appropriately aggressive in communicating with your owner clients on why it's necessary, and that's the word, to drop the rent and offer move-in specials, especially as we head into these winter months. It's just going to get harder. Hey, how else can we help you? Jump on our website, PM Build. Have you checked out our Facebook group? If you're a Facebook person, we've got a lot of help on there. Check out our podcast at PM Build. By the time this video comes out, I think I'll be right now when this is out in Virginia speaking, and then I'll be in North Carolina speaking a day or two after that. I'll be out at the NARPM National Conference in Dallas shortly. Hope to see you out there. But until next time, and as always, my friends, I wish you success.